Okay. Charlie told me that was a thing when we were syncing up editing for videos. It kind of helps with sound.
It peaks, but it doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
Cut it out.
All right.
Welcome to Regan's Rants and Raves. My name is Ellie Code with a hostess with the mostest. And here we're going to be overanalyzing, bitching about 2019's Child's Play. If you haven't seen the movie yet, stop fucking listening right now. Go take care of that because you're a fucking moron if you haven't seen it yet. If you have seen it, sit down, relax, and enjoy this unfiltered, downright horrifying talk on 2019's Child's Play. So first I'm going to start off with a short little description. By literally short, I mean I stole it right off the fucking internet. After moving to a new city, young Andy Barkley receives a special present from his mother, seemingly innocent Buddy doll. That becomes his best friend. When the doll suddenly takes a life of its own, Andy unites with the other neighborhood children to stop the sinister toy from wreaking bloody fucking havoc. It didn't say fucking, I just added that in there.
Good. It doesn't sound like an IMDb.
Should have included fucking.
Yeah.
It should have had fucking in there, but you know.
Both the description and the movie itself.
Just in general, it didn't
Agreed.
sound like the person who wrote that was fluent in sentence.
Probably not.
Probably.
When I say I literally stole it off the internet, it means I fucking stole it off the internet.
Thank you.
I believe you.
Plagiarize
Sponsor
your
us,
papers,
please.
kids. Get your places.
There'll be
Bad
references
advice,
down
but-
below, wherever the fuck it may be.
I mean, hey,
So ratings so far, we have Rotten Tomatoes at 59%, IMDb at 6.6 out of 10,
DB.
BD. I'm gonna give you
SM.
fucking BD.
BDSM.
Giggity.
God fucking damn it. And then 47% of Metacritic. Metacritic?
Yes.
Right?
Metacritic.
So everybody loves it, obviously.
Oh,
Obvious
good.
fucking.
Rave reviews. Move
Okay.
over, get out.
Jesus Christ. We had a release date of June 21st, 2019, and a runtime of 90 minutes.
felt a lot longer.
So just how many of those negative reviews are from parents who took their kids to the wrong talking toy movie?
Yes.
Probably a great
We
mix.
have some good story on that one as
Yeah.
well in a bit.
That was the worst.
Probably the same people that took their kids to see Ted thinking it was a cute movie about a talking teddy bear.
Or,
It is.
or
Then-
Deadpool, the parents who went in there and was like, it's a cute Marvel movie. It's
Or-
fine.
And it was.
Or Sausage
And it
Party.
was.
Oh my god.
Like the one
Because
time they
tell-
ran the Sausage Party trailer in front of Finding Dory.
Yeah, they do that every 6 months.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting in the movie theater with my friend, and right in front of us were 3 children. Like little, like your guys' children.
Yes.
Oh no.
Like 3 and 5.
Yeah, like little. One, why would you take your 3 and 5-year-old to that kind of? I don't know. I don't understand. Even
Just
by the
outside the
commercial,
house,
you
like
knew
that.
right off the
Were
bat
they-
what that movie was.
Were there any kids when we went to go see it? We saw it like really late, like literally right after we went and saw Toy Story 4. We went and saw Child's Play.
I remember there being more kids in Brightburn. Like, I remember a whole flock of children coming in and just being loud.
Is that what we call them? A flock?
Flock.
Were there
kids
kids?
Is that the-
Gander.
is that the
Crotch
proper-
goblins.
A gander of crotch goblins.
Were there
I like
kids
that.
when we went to go see it?
I was just concerned with the asshole who was pulling out his phone every 10 minutes.
Oh,
So,
fuck.
We had that as well.
we had when we went to go see it, we went to Berkeley Plaza, and
Your mistake.
yeah, that was our first mistake.
Please sponsor us, by the
Well,
way.
yeah, we love you. We love you.
We love you. We just don't like the kids who come to see movies there. And we had children who so there was this one kid and he was like so pumped, and we were like, oh, he's so excited to see Child's Play, and we were so like heartwarmed by it until the previews started to show that they were over, and every time a preview would end, he would say, like, it would be dead quiet in the theater, and he would say, is it starting yet? Is it starting yet? It's not scary yet. When is it gonna get scary, Dad? It's not. He's not scary. When is somebody gonna die? And I'm like, can you just calm down?
I admire
the-
the kid's
the
spirit. I'll
worst
give him
part-
that.
The
Here's the
worst
reason.
part about that was he looked like a guy that would take his children to see this kind of movie, and then they would get scared, which they did as soon as it started. Take them home, they'd have nightmares and wake up scared. Dad, I'm scared. And then he would beat their ass for being scared.
He looked like that kind of motherfucker.
Shouldn't
Think
talk
of what
about
that
my
guy looks
childhood
like.
life.
That's what that guy looks like.
Was he bald?
He,
No.
Were they bald? Okay.
He looked like he was straight out of the
Receding?
80s.
It was
but I
like
like
a
it.
mullet, but it was
Which part of
receding
the
on the
80s?
top.
Oh.
Yes.
Original
like a-
Child's Play era 80s.
Shitty party in the front and trying to be business in the back.
Like
Cute.
it's
Complete
a party,
reversal of what
but,
it
like,
should
there
be.
are two people ODing, and it's a business, but like there's just a lot of shady stuff there.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly that.
just a mess.
So like the entirety of the Wolf of Wall Street, but as a person.
Yeah,
But like
Oh, cute.
only
the
the back.
trailer park version of Wolf
Yeah.
of Wall Street as a person.
Yeah.
Does that sound
Yeah.
accurate?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Perfect.
Big
So-
oof.
So that was our experience. It was great.
Look, I don't like the MPAA at times, especially for like what they did to a lot of horror movies throughout like the 80s. Mm-hmm. But for Christ's sake, they exist. Just look, there's a giant ass fucking R
Means restricted.
on all of those
Yeah.
films for, hey,
Doesn't mean
don't
more.
bring your snot-nosed little pieces of shit to see it.
And also, you knew it's in the fucking original. You act like a modern version isn't gonna be worse.
You literally see on
like-
the poster there's a toy hand holding a knife, like a legit knife.
Oh, I think
over
this is good.
over a
Let's
sleeping
take my
child.
fucking kid to this. Granted, I saw Rocky Horror at the age of 7 in the middle of a lot.
You're different.
Like
You're
you gotta
special.
know what your kid is capable of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
If you'd have taken me to Child's Play as a child, I'd have died. Like, of fright.
Same.
Oh, so would I. I
Same.
ran screaming out of the theater at Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Wow.
I couldn't.
When I was
Not
a
on
small
here.
child, I got extremely upset because my dad showed me like the 1930s version of Dracula. You could like see the strings and the
Right.
bats, and
Oh.
I had nightmares for weeks. I was so scared.
I couldn't watch
That's what-
Halloween Town as a kid.
Yeah,
Like the
That was
Disney
my
Channel
shit.
It was
original
bad.
film.
Those
terrified
movies
me.
got me into horror because they were so the colors alone were so vivid and beautiful. Even in the like, I don't know, because we got all updated stuff. Obviously, not all of them are in fucking color, but like the posters alone, the posters alone of what got me. Anyways,
That'd be a good topic for some other time. Just what's the film that got us into horror? Like what inspired us?
I love that. Anyways, so our not round table, but our thoughts so far. Who would like to start? Who would like to start?
Tell us your name and something you liked about the movie.
Hello, my name is Ellie, and I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Ellie.
My name is Ellie and I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Ellie.
You're in a safe place.
Oh boy.
My,
Anyways,
feel
name's
like-
Rod, and I like to party.
shut your mouth. Anyways,
Hi, I'm Samantha, and I have sex with everyone.
God damn it.
If I guess I can start.
Should
it
have
off.
pleased the crown. Yeah.
So why don't you tell everybody your name too?
I'm John. No, I'm just kidding. I'm Nick. I don't
Thank
know
you,
why
Nick.
I said that. I liked it overall. Thing to know about me, first of all, I'm very much so what I'd call a casual fan of the Child's Play series. Like, I find that they all. Shut up! You'll get your turn. I find that most of them have a good amount of merits to them, and they're all entertaining in their own right. But like, it's never really one that's been with me my entire life, so I don't have as much of an emotional connection to it as I do like some other horror franchises. So knowing that, and I think we'll get into this later, of like I didn't have that much of an attachment going into this, thinking like, oh, this is sacrilegious just to remake this movie. And going in, I thought it was entertaining. First and foremost, it definitely had a lot of questionable moments to it, and some downright stupid moments in some other parts, but overall I thought the entertainment value was pretty good, and I'm glad I saw it. I think it had just enough to it to make it worth seeing.
Solid.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that. I'm also, I'm one of those people, I've literally never seen a Chucky movie,
What kind of people? What's your name?
ever. Those people.
Hello, those people.
My name's Katie.
Okay.
I'm still gonna call you.
I didn't
those
get what
people.
you said. I was like, no, those kinds of people until,
What do you mean,
oh
those
wait,
kinds of people?
I didn't introduce myself. Yeah, I've never seen a Chucky movie ever. I've seen bits and pieces of like Bride of Chucky, but I've never sat down and actually watched any of the Chucky movies. So I was coming in. I don't have that kind of sentimental attachment because I know this has been around for a long time. I don't have that kind of like attachment to it. But I agree. There were definitely some moments that were just stupid. Like, it was, there were a lot of times that it was really campy, and I just sat there and I was like, okay.
Choices.
Right. But I really liked it. Entertainment-wise, I can agree with what you said. Like, overall, even though it was not the most terrifying thing that I've ever seen in my entire life, overall, I thought it was really good, and it did a lot. There was a lot of different places that it went as far as, like, campy versus actually scary, and the plot, and all these different kinds of things, but I found myself not struggling to keep up with it and watch it and enjoy it, even though I had never seen a Chucky movie. I didn't feel like I needed to in order to go and enjoy this movie, so it was good. I liked it.
Let me bounce off of you and say I'm kind of between Nick and Katie on the scale of my familiarity with the franchise.
Who are you?
I don't know.
Are you those people?
I am Alec Costigan.
He's bad.
I don't think you need to know that last part, but I'm a good person.
Okay.
We all think so.
Are any of us?
Okay. Yeah. But I wouldn't even say I consider myself a fan of any sort. And I had more experience with the movies than Katie did. Never actually sat down and watched a whole movie all the way through. The most I've seen from them is probably like 60% of the original, maybe a quarter of Bride, and then like half of Seed.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ellie is cringing.
I'm so
Fine.
sorry.
How could you?
I'm so hurt, but it's okay.
Hurt that he's seen
Okay,
Seed,
is
or
there-
hurt that he hasn't seen the others?
Hasn't seen the
Both.
others.
Oh,
All of the
both.
above. Yes.
Name a day in the past 4 years I haven't hurt you.
In the past 15 minutes.
Yeah.
She's really thinking about it.
Anyways, keep
That
going.
was Latel.
So I went in. I usually like to go to remakes and reboots and stuff anyway with an open mind. And I thought, as an update of the story for modern audiences, it was really, really hella decent. I wouldn't say it was great. It for me, it's a solid like 7. Like I thought the biggest change of it not being a supernatural story anymore is what made it most relevant to like people like me who really weren't that familiar with the older stories. It's something that would definitely resonate with people who, think about our connection with technology and how much we might obsess over stuff and the Internet of Things. It's a solid B movie with something to say, something on its mind, and I really admire that about it. So I liked it as someone who didn't really know that much about the original franchise, but just enough. It worked for me on a lot of levels.
Alec, I'm going to bounce off of you there. I'm Dustin. I can agree with the total revamp that they did with using the technology and the whole AI aspect of it. I mean, having seen all the other ones growing up, so I do have that sentimental value. But the biggest thing I was talking to Ellie about was like, you can't replace Brad Dourif as Chucky. Like, that is Chucky. You can't replace him whatsoever. But Mark Hamill killed it as like an AI version. And how they took it and kind of made you feel for that character compared to, the originals where, Charles Lee Ray was just a hardcore serial killer. You go from that to, like, this AI doll has no idea. It's not a person. It doesn't know right from wrong. It's just yes or no. It's two ends of the spectrum. So I was kind of, I enjoyed it for what it was. Obviously, in my opinion, it doesn't compare to the originals. But, I mean, for what it was, seeing it by itself, it's a completely different ball game with that. And I told Katie that I really wished Brian Tyree Henry had a bigger role in it, personally, because he's fantastic.
And also his character was fantastic too.
Yeah,
He was so good.
Yeah, he's good in everything. I mean, Atlanta.
Oh my god.
Character counterpart was very different from the original version, but I liked that.
Right.
I loved Sarandon. Do not get me wrong, but he was such a good. Oh my god.
Yeah, if they were going to be going in a different direction with it, which they did, which is I'll get into this more later, but that's another thing I really liked about it is just how different it was from the original outside of the basic general premise of the film. So
So my name is Joel,
Hi, Joel.
Hi, Joel.
and
Are you an alcoholic too?
a little bit.
Oh, okay.
A little bit.
How can you be
I
a
don't think it's
little
so.
bit of an
I
alcoholic?
think it's either.
Denial.
You're more of a
Small
hardcore
denial.
A little bit of
Just a dash
little
of
bit.
denial.
A little bit.
So anyway, Joel, the alcoholic.
I kind of thought it sucked.
Oh no.
Yeah.
oh boy.
Oh no.
I had a good time with it, don't get me wrong. Like, it was so ludicrously fucking insane at points.
I can agree
And
with that.
so just laughable in its execution and delivery, in my opinion. Not that yours are wrong, but in mine, it was a lot like Troll 2. It's not
Wow.
good in the slightest. It's better than Troll.
Alex said, "Wow."
It's not good, but I had fun with it. I did enjoy my time watching it, but I just can't think of much that I actually liked about it.
Pause. I want an entire video dedicated to how you compare those two fucking movies. Anyways,
They're
keep going.
both really bad, but kind of fun. They're
think this-
both
That
poor
is
in their
a bold
execution.
claim, Cotton. Let's see if he can back it up
I
with
think
his
there's
sources.
there was actually a good amount that was legitimately good to this movie.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
It felt like if Black Mirror
Now, if you're about to
I
shit
have
on Black
seen
Mirror,
that.
weren't
I have-
as
get the
good.
fuck out of my house.
Like,
It felt like
it is
not
kind
good
of a
Black
poor
Mirror.
episode of Black Mirror. I kind of get that.
I've
Speaking
seen
as
that in
somebody
a
who's
lot
never
of
seen
reviews.
Black Mirror before, it very much so felt like
In terms of the AI and everything.
it felt like of
I
how
can see that.
technology turns against humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It
like if
felt like
Hulu
that.
tried to do Black Mirror.
I mean, okay, so
Okay,
like
that's fair.
the whole point, the whole thesis of Black Mirror is the dark side of humanity's relationship with technology, the potential downfalls of it. And I think this is albeit a ludicrous, outlook on that, but it kind of falls into that same thesis. I mean, it is about like the interconnectivity and our obsession with the interconnectivity of our devices these days, and how intelligent we want our devices to be too. And what if we let them start making decisions? It's not like Terminator levels, but it's a device that can make decisions based on a purpose that it's given. And what if it's just a little faulty because of a suicidal factory worker?
That's actually what Katie said about the whole Terminator vibe. It wasn't
Yeah.
that hardcore, where it's like,
Right.
oh, they're out to get us.
Yeah,
You know.
it's not that black and white episode of Black Mirror.
I almost feel like all of these movies and TV shows like Black Mirror and Child's Play and things that are coming out that have to do with the whole like going off of Alexa and having a whole integrated technology thing that controls all of your stuff. Like, I feel like that's really being pushed. I feel like that's honestly an agenda that's being pushed really hard. And I feel like it's kind of like a sign that low-key they're trying to tell you, like,
Technology
technology
being
is
addicted to
literally going to kill us
technology
all.
might,
Well, we have yet
Right.
another Terminator movie coming out this year, so I guess that
But
That's
James
another
Cameron's
topic.
involved this time. So,
that's another
yeah.
topic for another day,
Yeah.
though.
It's weird that, like, the best Terminator since 2 is the only one that doesn't have Arnold. But,
Touche.
again, different subject.
Yeah.
So,
I'll springboard off of my earlier point of just one of the things that I just really liked about this film was that for a remake, it was so different from
Yeah.
the original. Like
Yeah.
well, we have a whole section that we're going
That's
to get
also
to on
such a
that,
point
but
of
like,
contention for so many people. It's
Yeah,
like either you
well,
love it or you hate
I
it.
feel like if you're gonna remake it, do make it different. Like
Yeah.
make it so wildly out there and outlandish and just kind of different from what it is. Because if that's not the case, then just what's the point in remaking it?
Like-
Especially if the original series is still going on.
Like, what I did appreciate about the remake aspect of it is that it's the same basic story. Like, all the bones of that story are in there. Is even the characters, albeit changed a little bit. Like, Andy is, like,
Older.
older.
It very much so went for like I felt like it was kind of trying to capitalize on that Stranger Things craze that's going on with like the preteen kids that are fighting against some kind of supernatural.
But I feel like
force.
it did what any good remake does, is that it takes that same basic story and it adds something new to it, or at least it shows it in a new light.
Yeah, to change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
For the newer generation.
Yeah.
At a certain point, if you're going to remake something and make it that drastically different, why not just make it its own property? There are certain times where, especially this, it just never felt like a child. You're like, oh, cool, it's Chucky, but
But
You
not
used
really.
his
It's
name,
not
you used his
Chuck-
characters,
you
but
used
you
his
did not
language,
use his
not
story.
actually.
I agree
how
with that.
dare
could've
you
done something.
stand where he stood?
How dare you stand where he stood?
At a certain
Hey,
point,
Mark
why did they
Hamill is
hurt
a
us?
worthy replacement.
he is. But even
don't
then,
care.
there was nothing to his. It was
it
his
was-
performance.
Okay,
was like, there was nothing
disagree.
backing it up.
was
I
AI.
disagree with you wholeheartedly on that.
He was
I think
just
there was a
so
lot to his
bland.
It
Like,
was a-
as a character. The voice performance was phenomenal. He's Mark fucking Hamill.
Yeah.
The guy
Honestly,
can do almost no wrong
I
outside
heard a
of
lot
Star
of
Wars
Joker
Holiday
in
Special.
his voice in the movie. That was the one
I
negative
kinda
to it.
did.
Like the actual character of Chucky is so radically different from the original franchise. Like
Because there is no character.
Well, there was a
basically,
little.
yeah.
Well, I liked what they were
it-
kind of trying
It does
to
have
go
a
for with him.
motivation in this. Like he does have a motivation, and he takes steps to, reach his goal as a character. But like the radical difference in that, updating it so it's not supernatural, it's an AI. Like he's not already a serial killer when that just puts his soul into a doll and continues being a serial killer. It's a defective device with a purpose to make its owners happy, and it's trying to find the best ways to do that.
It's learning as you go.
Exactly.
I see this
Smartphones,
new
it
this
learns
new
how to
Chucky.
use your phone.
Yeah.
This new Chucky I see is almost kind of like a child in its of itself.
It does have
Yeah.
a very
It's-
childish
it's
innocence
very,
to it.
It's very impressionable. It's very
Right.
it's new to the world around it, and
Yeah.
it has one purpose, like you said, to make its owner happy,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes to whatever lengths it sees necessary to do so. So I think I liked that little bit of. I feel like for it being an AI doll, I feel like through Mark Hamill's performance, he surprisingly brought some personality
Oh
to
yeah, for
Chucky.
sure.
I want to hear what Ellie has to say.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, this is up there in my favorite franchises. This, Evil Dead, Scream, fucking the Chucky movies. This is up there in my all-time. I am not mad about this new Child's Play. It is very different, and it does play to that modern audience, which I do like. However, I love the original story. I love the original voices. It's just, I don't think you can beat it. There isn't a way to beat it. I don't think they're trying to necessarily, but we'll get to that controversy in a fucking moment.
Oh, I'm ready.
I don't think that they're trying to beat it, but I miss the magic. The voodoo-esque. I miss the magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gave
That's
it
understandable.
personality.
I mean,
It did.
I think it's a really good apple and a really good orange. They're both good products, but it's just about personal taste.
But
like,
then
yeah.
don't
They're both
put
called an
Chucky's
apple,
name
though.
on it.
It's calling an apple and an orange two apples.
Yeah.
You have the old and you have the new that are so different.
Yeah.
One of them being really good and the other one not. And calling them both
The
an
same
apple.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So like I
that.
get all the arguments that are on the table when it comes to this. I completely understand.
Mm-hmm.
I miss Charles Lee Ray, and I just want to kind of make that a big point.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally understandable.
Well, they're coming out with a continuation.
They
Which is
are.
in
also-
TV form.
Why? Not that. Why
Oh, no.
this? The story has been going for 30 years. Even
Well-
as not good as it got at points, they kept it going. The kid who played Andy originally is still
Yeah,
Andy,
that's
which
true.
is fantastic.
Jennifer
So to
Tilly
throw-
is still Jennifer Tilly. And Tiffany.
Jennifer
And
Tilly.
Tiffany.
Jennifer fucking Tilly.
Can we just stop for a moment?
and pray to
And
our Lord and
talk
Savior,
about-
Really
Jennifer
right there.
Tilly?
Yeah.
She's
All I gotta say is one thing.
Yeah.
Boing.
Oh,
my
man.
That's the one thing we're gonna cut. Yeah.
There's our editor.
I love you, Jennifer. If you're listening.
Follow us.
Hello?
Yeah.
Please,
What
I
I
love
did
you.
really like was the horror aspect of these are real life things that could potentially fucking happen. We have the technology, it is there. Our iClouds hook up into everything. Apple TV, we have fucking all of our phones are hooked up into all of this. You can lose your fucking nudes in the iCloud now. These are all things that could
iCloud is
happen.
not going to murder you in your sleep.
It
No,
might.
not if we create a doll.
It might.
Well, it's
I'm saying potentially. It could get to that point in the future.
the real potential isn't about the doll or a doll killing you in your sleep. It's about somebody who hacks into this Internet of Things.
That you
and
put
kills you
all
through
of your
those.
personal
Yeah.
information.
Because
already happens.
all of your personal stuff is already out there. And I
And-
think because people are so, like, people don't really... They don't really think about it because it's becoming such a normalized part of society that just everything is on a smartphone. Everything is on social media.
Everything's
You
hooked
get a
up to the
Facebook
cloud.
as when
Yeah.
you're like 10 now. And you start posting pictures and you get an Instagram and you get a Snapchat. And it's starting to become so normalized that people are just putting every aspect of their lives on social media and on the internet to where nobody's really stopping to think like, holy shit, my shit is out there. Like, it's out there.
But think about smart devices like the Alexa and ordering things on Amazon, and you may not intend to, but it may hear something on TV. Like there was one South Park episode with the Alexa where they, were saying something on the show, and people's Alexas in the home were actually going off,
Yeah.
hearing what was
Yeah.
happening. And like we have a Nest for for the heat and cold and everything. So what if, somebody happens to hack into that and they, in the summertime raise it up to like 100 degrees for your
While
for
we're
your
on
heat.
vacation
While
for
you're
a
on
week.
vacation, you don't realize
Yeah.
it.
And then our cats
it's
die.
That,
our
or
children
like
die.
the bill goes crazy. Like there could be real life consequences to that.
Side note, if we talk about Amazon's device, we should totally call it an Echo, because mine goes off when, like, podcasts say Alexa. So let's
True.
not be the people that cause other people to go off.
Alexa,
Alexa, order me some cheesy poofs.
Alexa, play Child's Play on the TV.
And if you think about it this way,
Alexa, subscribe
that
to our
is
podcast.
Andy's Alexa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
definitely.
telling that's his best friend. And I think the
A
thing
really
I
fucked
did
up Alexa.
the thing that I did like, yeah, it's a really fucked up Alexa if you think about it that way.
Alexa.
So you completely fucking derailed my entire thought
Okay,
process,
It's
Joel.
Andy's Alexa. It tells him every.
his best friend.
And then there is this one thing. Is speaking of best friend, I felt bad for Chucky a lot
I agree
because
with
he's
that.
I
just
kind of agree.
learning. He's
there's
like
such
a baby.
childish
He
innocence
is
to it,
very.
yeah.
He is such an impressionable thing in this version.
Little guy.
That impressionable little sprout. That like, yeah, he really is just learning everything as he goes. So it's complete. I didn't overwhelmingly feel sorry for him because he still goes off and kills people.
Yeah.
But like,
that
I
it's
definitely-
there. I've been like, oh,
yeah, just like he doesn't know any better.
like with the original the cat thing. So
Yeah.
everybody remembers
Like-
that where he originally goes after the cat for the very first time.
I kind of saw Chucky as like a really fucked up version of Wall-E. Like this cute little robot that could do good, but except Chucky kind of had.
Anyways,
If I could jump off of a couple points that you and Katie made, like you pointed out that Andy tells him everything, and that's the whole reason why Chucky, decides to like start killing some things, is because Andy tells him, "I hate that cat. I hate my mom's
Shane.
boyfriend." Yeah, and you made the point about the connectivity of social media and the cloud and everything. Like I feel like this movie, this version of Chucky, could almost be looked at as a metaphor for social media, because Andy tells him like all the wrong things, and they come back to bite him in the ass sometimes.
you have a depressive episode and you post it on the fucking internet and everybody
Yeah.
sees all your deep dark
And
shit.
it wrecks your world sometimes. Yeah.
He tells this doll all of his, deep dark things that he's thinking, not necessarily Andy thinking
Yeah.
Not
repercussions
in
of
a
it were going to
literal
be.
sense.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was gone.
Yeah.
Joel, you look
Okay.
like you really want to argue this
I'm
point.
just really, like... How much did y'all motherfuckers smoke before walking into this? Because I don't see it as being
Clearly not
that
enough.
deep.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like, I feel like, had it been an episode of Black Mirror or its own thing not connected to Child's Play where it could go deeper into that, it maybe I maybe could have seen a lot more of those connections, but as it is, I just saw a shitty little robot killing people kind of inconsistently. Like,
I mean,
I can
A lot of it-
understand that. I feel like
you're welcome to that.
the commentary, like
Yeah.
what you brought up, I think that's
welcome to
a
that
really
opinion.
good point, and I think that can definitely be picked apart. But within the film itself, I don't think they capitalized on that idea as much.
And they do kind of pivot away, definitely, like once he's like brought back to life. Like there's
they
no
definitely
reason-
pivot
He's
away
like,
more
well,
towards like
fuck it.
straight
Like,
horror.
yeah, like there was no reason for him to kill that like pervy like worker for the
That scene was amazing.
Okay.
by
it
the
was a
way.
great
It was
scene.
amazing.
I
I'll
have
give
a
it to
point
it.
about
It has
that,
some
though.
okay
Okay,
moments.
yeah.
The
I
gore.
really, really, really loved. Okay, so yes, initially you feel really bad for Chucky, right? And you are like, oh, he's trying so
Bless his
hard.
heart, he tries.
Bless his fucking heart.
Don't show a Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 to a fucking toddler.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah,
Like that
kind of
happened.
He
now.
didn't know any better.
So, but he's trying so hard, and you almost feel bad for him. And what I really liked, and from what you guys are saying, again, I haven't seen the Chucky movies, but from what you guys are saying, how he was just this mass serial killer, and he was just kind of killing everybody in his way. In opposition to that, it was more, this time around, it was more like he was killing, like, the people who deep down, real in the, like, pit of your anus, like, you really wanted them to die, but you didn't want to say it.
Yeah.
You didn't want to say it.
You
but
wanted
those,
this sweet
those-
old lady to die?
No,
No,
that was
not
the
her.
only one that
Not
mattered.
her.
That was bullshit.
I'm talking
That-
about Shane, that motherfucker, and two, the creepy worker.
Pervy janitor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
The discount Jack Black.
The biggest.
True.
Discount
I thought it was Jack Black
dude
when
from
I
Malcolm
saw
in
it,
the
by
Middle
way.
that worked at the same store as the
I
mother.
just thought he was Wayne Knight and Jack Black, like, put
Holy
together.
shit. That's perfect.
But that's
Anyways,
what I'm saying,
okay.
though, is like, is yes, he was killing people, but he was killing people who were significantly negative to the story, like the people that, like, low-key, you were like, if there's anybody that's gotta die, it's gonna be this creepy motherfucker that's watching him through the cameras.
And like it's a childish sense of justice, because,
Right.
mostly because of what Andy tells him. Like, I wish Shane would just go away. I wish the cat. I hate the cat.
Yeah.
I don't believe Andy said anything about the worker, but
But he
that-
He
deserved
gave like a
He was
like
creepy.
Yeah.
a judgmental glance.
Like I said
Yeah.
before, there's no in between. So when you say I want him to disappear, it's
Yeah.
fine. It's like either
Oh,
he's
well,
here
this
or
is the
he's
obvious
literally
reaction.
disappear.
Here's a
Yeah.
face on a watermelon, though.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
off topic?
Right.
When they're in the basement and they're looking at all the security, like, he's looking at everyone,
Right.
the shot of, like, them in the one lady's apartment is from, like, the head of the table. Where the fuck is that camera fucking hidden?
I have no fucking
Yeah,
idea. I thought
I
the
was
same
wondering
thing.
that.
That
too.
shot, Bob, I was like, that's...
Unless they had a bloody doll.
I don't think we ever saw
That or some
Yeah.
kind of
We
Caslo
never-
product sitting on the
true.
table.
Yeah.
We
True, that
never-
could be like something more actually akin to an Echo. Are you happy? Echo.
What
that
Echo
they
has
had
a
on there.
camera on it,
Alexa.
It doesn't.
Some might. It's a Caslin
though?
product.
That's my... that just bothered
ju-
me a
you
little.
don't-
bit.
I
It
mean,
bothered me a
the same
little
thing,
too hard.
But that makes sense. It might have been another.
It could have been
Caslo
some kind of
product.
product, like a.
Just sitting at the head of the table.
Or it could have been on the wall.
Stranger
or-
things have
It
happened.
was the head of the table. We also never just saw the other side of that apartment. It's very...
Anyway.
Also, the biggest plot twist of the movie of Shane being fucking married.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
It makes you hate him more. It
Like,
just
what?
makes you hate him more.
That
and you
led-
get to see that right before his death.
This is a family.
Right before his
that
death,
did
you get
lead
to, like...
one of the best scenes in the movie. Which
Granted, I would leave my family for Aubrey Plaza, but that's another topic for another
That's
day.
your
we all would.
It is. It's a problem.
But literally, that quite literally just fed into people's dislike of him. Like, it just was this character development of, like, being more and more and more and more shitty. And touching on all these, like, what I find important subjects, because I'm a social worker, of the abuse that mom's not seeing and all of this stuff. And it just builds this character of, like, the really typical, like, shitty mom's boyfriend guy, and then you get all of that. God, I hate him.
Yeah.
I will
Boom,
say,
dead.
when that revelation
Boom,
came that
dead.
he had a family, all I could think of was that one Family Guy cutaway joke where Peter leaves on a business trip and he's actually
dresses
just
up
going
like a woman.
he dresses up like a woman and goes to visit his other family.
I kind of have a bit of a problem with that. In this movie, in the first half-ish of Rob Zombie's Halloween, even a little bit in like the Friday the 13th remake, where a lot of these horror remakes try to make a lot of the kills very
There's reasons behind
like
them all.
sympathetic, like, oh, you're on, like, you're almost rooting for the killer, but there's never. I kind of like some of the older ones where you watch and you just go, oh,
He's just killing the fucking killer.
Yeah,
in
like-
terms of the killings, though, one of the cool things, I mean, it could be cool or bad depending on how you look at it, but based on, I can't remember, I think it was the first one, but there was somebody's head got cut off, and they wanted to avoid, it was one of the movies that they couldn't reuse somebody's head getting cut off, and they're like, oh, well, can we, like, cut his face off and, like, put it on a watermelon, like, whoever thought of that.
They couldn't
But they
use
couldn't use it.
anything. They can only use stuff from the first movie.
Right.
They can only use similar kills
Right.
from the first movie.
Yeah.
So,
But not the exact same because of the...
so I do have
That's-
a couple questions for everybody. So this is Aubrey Plaza's first role as a parental figure. What did we all think?
she played Aubrey Plaza, which was
Yeah.
fine, but I didn't see her in this role.
I wanted so badly to see her do not Aubrey Plaza.
To work,
I
to
wanted
act
so
against
badly.
type.
Yeah, because I think that she's a really good actress, and I think she had so much potential to make this role so amazing. But she just played the same, like, stone-faced, resting bitch face. I
Very
don't give a shit
sarcastic.
about anything Aubrey Plaza, and that's fine for other things. But like,
I thought that worked to her advantage.
I wanted to see
And
something
the
different.
reason why is because her character was just like, whatever, Andy's bullshit, or the obliviousness to the boyfriend having a family, or whatever he was doing to Andy, like having that, oh, whatever. Like her whole deadpan thing that she does. I don't know, it kind of worked for the character that she
It
was
does
playing.
kind of work because she's a teenage mom basically. She was very young when she got pregnant. She mentioned she got
16,
she
16?
had a really wild, sweet 16 is what she said. Yeah. So the deadpanness kind of works in that respect, and I kind of felt like she did bring out a new dimension with her performing. In a way, like the first scene I saw of her, first she was, selling the Chucky doll or just dealing with shitty customer complaints. But when she was actually stealing, she fucking stole that Chucky doll. Like that just seemed
like
like
it is.
run
I
of the
did
mill
love
Aubrey
that scene.
Plaza. I personally did. It just seemed like basic Aubrey Plaza right there. But how she developed over the course of the movie, I really liked where she wound up. Like my favorite scene, my favorite performance from her is when she walks into her apartment and finds her son destroying one of the few nice things that they have. Like she's a teenage mom, they're very poor. This broken doll was supposed to be a really nice thing. They don't have a lot, and for a teenage mom to walk in like that to her son, in a destructive episode, she doesn't believe anything that's going on in her life, but to walk in and see that I might have a really fucking disturbed child who's running out doing horrible things, she really brought that out in a very poignant performance in that particular scene, I think.
I liked
Yeah.
the relationship with her and Andy. I thought that was portrayed really well, even though I still felt like it was very like Aubrey Plaza. Like I really liked the way that they portrayed their relationship because that it seemed very realistic. Like it felt real to me.
I will jump in on that point. I agree with most of what's been said here. I think I liked Aubrey Plaza's I cannot speak tonight. Aubrey Plaza's performance. Try saying that 5 times real fast.
Aubrey Plaza's performance. Aubrey Plaza's performance.
not that
Aubrey
fast.
Plaza. Okay, fine. Fuck me.
Yeah, I liked what she was doing. I mean, yeah, a lot of it was kind of typical Aubrey Plaza, but like you were saying, sometimes that really worked for the role. My only problem was I actually disagree with what you said. I actually wasn't really feeling the relationship between her and Andy that
Really?
well. It didn't seem 100% genuine. It felt like, yeah, okay, they're in a difficult spot here. They're a very poor young family just living in this really bad section of insert city name here. Chicago.
I don't know.
Gotham City.
Same thing. All the same thing.
Where they lived, it literally looked like it was right next to the alleyway where Bruce Wayne's parents were murdered. Just saying.
Maybe it was.
Crossover.
But yeah, I just a lot of the time it just kind of felt like their scenes together boiled down to just kind of the same dynamic each time of just either like, oh, I know things are hard, but we're going to get through this together. Why don't you like Shane? Shane's a fucking asshole, or I just won't say anything, or something's wrong with Chucky. No, it isn't. Go to bed. So, it was nothing wrong with the performances, per se, because I think the kid who played Andy was also really good. But I think it was just mainly in the writing. I didn't feel as strong of I didn't 100% believe that they were a mother and son. Even the fact that they were very young. Like, in the original, like, you really feel... Maybe it's because Andy was a much younger child in that one, but you really felt like there was a mother and a child relationship there, and there was this concern surrounding it of, like, oh, because there's this this little kid, this mother is going to such extreme lengths to make sure her child is safe. I didn't really get that as much of that feeling
there's not
in
a
this
lot of
one.
urgency.
In that respect, maybe they did that intentionally. For people who see it that way, maybe they did that intentionally to kind of intensify why Andy is attaching so much to this doll and why he is feeling so isolated and why he's not telling his mom how much he hates Shane, because maybe their relationship is strained, and it's so strained that he doesn't want to put more strain on it by, like, opening up to her, you know?
I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
I think if they had explained that a little bit more in the movie,
Yeah.
that would have come across a lot better, because
Yeah.
I think that would be
I can
even
agree with
more incentive for Chucky to want to make Andy happy by doing all of these
Right.
horrible things. Is because he knows that he and his mother have such a strained relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if they had gone into that a little bit more, I think it would have
Yeah, I can agree with
hit
that.
home further for me.
For sure.
It's your turn.
I don't know. I personally didn't feel a whole lot for Andy in this one, just because a lot of things were left very vague. My dad's out of the picture. Okay, that's cool. I can accept that. I can accept that your dad's out of the picture. But when you have
Explain it. No.
when you have an entire scene,
All right, there, David Lynch.
when you have an entire scene dedicated to, hey Chucky, I draw these things. Don't look at that picture. That picture's no. I'm very sensitive about that, and then never bring it up again. I'm like, but why are you sensitive? Is he dead? Did he leave you? Like, why are you sensitive about this? Why?
Explain
Absent
more.
parent trope.
Why are you nervous about talking to other kids? Like, do they bully you? Because it seems like they don't. Like, it seems like you get along really well with these kids once. There was just a lot of it where I was like, I really didn't know much about his character. He has a fucking hearing aid.
Why?
Why?
Yeah,
They never really did anything
came
with it.
up.
They
Give
never
them a handicap
explained
so
it.
that they could use it for other stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
But
that
was
even then,
literally
they
it.
didn't even really use it all that
Not
much.
them. No, they used it at the very end, I think.
Like, it was just.
I remember they like it seemed like it was setting something up. Like A Quiet Place last year had a
That's
death
exactly
yeah.
what I
Yeah.
thought of.
And like they used that
Yes.
hearing aid in a lot of fantastic scenes to build
And
tension.
then it
Brilliant.
ends
Oh,
up
yeah.
being...
And it ends up
Brilliant
being-
ways.
Spoiler alert for A Quiet
haven't-
Place. If you haven't seen it
I
yet,
haven't
you're an
seen
idiot.
Quiet
2,
Place.
1, boom. Yeah.
You know.
Oh, you're covering your ears. Okay.
I haven't
Oh my
seen A
goodness,
Quiet
yeah.
Place.
But anyway, yeah, no. So
I'm
so
a
like,
piece of
it's
shit.
What movie haven't you seen?
It
have
seems like
you
they were
seen?
setting
Arrogance.
something up with that, and it didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
So do you have anything to answer about the Aubrey Plaza question?
As far as I already put my piece out there. She was Aubrey Plaza, and it worked.
shame on her.
And it didn't. She was just there for me. Like, there was no positive or negative to it. I just kind of felt like, okay, she's here and she's in it. That's nice.
So
I'm
I do
glad
have
she got
another
paid.
question. I actually have a couple questions.
Okay.
I've read a lot of reviews about how Andy's friends are almost useless to the actual storyline itself. That they were more Stranger Things or It Losers Club type of thing. Are you in agreement, or do you think they added something to the story?
I agree
nothing.
wholeheartedly.
I absolutely agree that they were Stranger Things, It Losers Club.
But did they add anything?
Only
See-
when Chucky witnessed them talking bad about Andy, and he took that, like Alex said, and learned from that, oh, these people are hurting Andy because they're talking bad about him. Now I need to kill them.
Like, I do think they, like, I would agree that it seems like the studio probably made a mandate. Hey, Stranger Things really hot. It really hot.
Hey, by the
Put
way,
in
we
some,
made
like,
It,
bike
so-
riding kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every single poster from the producer of It.
But I do feel that the writers did use them as best they could to add some extra depth to Andy's story, to some complexities with his relationships, both to his mom, to Chucky. There's layers there. Like, who are you going to call when your malfunctioning AI doll cuts off your
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, exactly. Ghostbusters. Yeah, or you can call
No, Diane,
the
their
bike riding
their
80s
insurance company.
kids club to get rid of the evidence.
I thought in a way yes, in a way no. Yes, because it did seem very, hey, little gangs of outcast kids are, they're in. They're real
Hashtag
in.
it.
They're real trendy right now.
Also, Stranger Things.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, like, I thought in a way yes, but also in a way no, because the question, did they add anything? For me, absolutely not. I didn't think that their friends, like,
The friendship
they were
added
so
anything.
useless
Yeah.
to everything, and
They gave him a Tupac joke.
in my opinion, I thought they were pretty useless, but I can't agree with Stranger Things and the friends being useless. I think everybody has a specific role in the plot in those movies.
But this one just didn't.
But this one,
yeah.
it was just like, it literally was just, hey, trendy gangs of preteens hanging out together because nobody likes them is hot
saw
right
it
now.
They didn't even participate
So
like in
hot
the
right
final
now.
fight all that much. Like Andy just locked them out, and he went in to face Chucky himself. Like they weren't even there.
He was like, fuck you guys.
Not
I'm doing
only
this
were
by
they
myself.
useless, the one scene where, okay, cool, he calls them and they come over and they're like, oh my god, there's a face on a fucking watermelon, Jesus Christ.
As you would
why?
any
They
person.
immediately piece the fuck out. The one kid has a I vomited joke, and then that's it.
Yeah.
When Andy and his mom take the
My
thing
heart
present.
stopped as soon as she looks at them, and then they're just like, my heart literally,
Yeah.
I
They
felt
think
it
she'll
was
be
like,
home that soon. Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
As soon as they go to take the present to the old lady, the other kids are gone. They had no purpose in that scene. If Andy could have just gone, all right, I'm going to do this myself, and it would have not changed a single thing about that
So if
scene.
I went up to you and be like, so I have a fucking dead body, are you gonna dip? I would
No,
dip.
but
Yes.
I would outright fucking dip. I'm sorry.
which is
Are you saying you
fine.
wouldn't?
I'm just a
It's
boy.
fine that you would dip,
like,
and
I
that
can
I
neither
would probably
confirm or
dip,
deny
depending
that.
on the situation.
I think those kids would dip.
However, if they're going to dip, if you're not going to use them, why have them to begin with?
There's also
why
that.
waste the
That-
screen time?
Yeah.
I also think it would have been better without them, just because you could have possibly built more on. Andy's a total fucking loser. Nobody likes him. Chucky is his only friend, and you could have given Chucky more of a reason, Andy more of a reason to bond with Chucky, Chucky more of a reason to bond with Andy.
Then become a
if you
serial
got
killer
rid of
duo
them.
and fight crime.
I agree wholeheartedly with you
Serial
on that.
killers
I
do.
think they could have, and that also could have been a little more incentive for possibly Andy to at first be a little more forgiving of Chucky, because he is all that he's got. So he doesn't want to lose the only thing
That would have been a little
can
more heartbreaking.
give him comfort. So
As it stands,
Yeah.
Like abusive
they were a
relationships.
complete waste.
what?
If
What? Sorry.
Everyone sounds stressed. If you'd have
Sorry.
killed them, it might have also given the film a little bit of something more. Like if they were in it for the purpose of, okay, cool, we're not fucking around, we're killing kids.
I just think character development is like
Bottom line, kill more kids in movies.
character
Sleepaway Camp-
development is a basic thing that should have been done but was not
Yeah, it
for a
not
lot
only-
of people.
Not only did they not have development, they robbed Andy of potentially having development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, overall, what did we think as our star of the show, Mark fucking Hamill?
Loved him.
Yes.
God.
I agree.
I don't think he can do... He's Luke fucking Skywalker. If you're against Luke Skywalker, then
More
you're
importantly,
obviously just
he's
the worst person.
He is the Joker.
Hey, only a Sith.
He's not Brad Dourif.
No,
And that's
yeah.
good. And that's good.
On his own, yes, he definitely held his own. Killed it.
Oh.
Mark pun intended.
Mark Hamill I liked. I thought he gave a, all things considered, great performance. He can do no wrong. His like 2 minutes in Kingsman are two of the best minutes in Kingsman. However,
The "we're not worthy" moment of Mark Hamill.
Well,
the character of Chucky, I just didn't give a shit, like, at all. Like, he was just... Mark Hamill. Great. Chucky. Not.
He's
Great.
a phenomenal fucking voice actor.
One of the
Like,
best working today.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't think I've heard him do like the robotic voice. So like, yes, there were times where you heard Joker or whatever, but most of the time, I thought the robotic cadence to his voice was actually really good.
I
thought-
never heard Luke Skywalker.
I thought it was a very strange performance because but it kind of worked because most of the movie, whenever Chucky would speak, I just kind of envisioned like Mark Hamill just sitting at home, kind of just whispering into his microphone for fucking
really
5
close to
hours.
Oh my god.
Like there wasn't much variety, but that also comes with the territory of the updated story. Again, it's a completely differently written performance, and Mark Hamill reflects that. He's not a serial killer in the body of
He
a doll.
sounded
He's
so
just-
sweet.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Whenever
is
he
an-
spoke.
He is an innocent baby doll, basically.
Yeah.
It's just a baby.
So the fact that he is just kind of whispering into his microphone for 2 hours, it really works on a subtly creepy level.
The song.
Like the
oh
Good Night
my
Andy.
god.
Yeah.
I was like, that fucking.
Oh
me
yeah,
That gave me
that
chills.
legitimately creeped
I've-
me out.
I think,
Legitimately.
jumping off of your point, the fact that the pervading image of him like sitting at home like whispering into a mic, like you got to think of, since this is a doll that is being sold, like that has a voice to it, somebody had to record the voice for that in the universe of the movie.
Yeah.
So you think like this is just some dude's voice that is being now used for this malfunctioning AI doll that is going around killing. So to just kind of think of that, of like taking somebody's voice and just applying it to all of these different situations that could be used for killing this doll. I think that for this doll that is killing, I think it's a creepy thought too.
Yeah.
So what did we think of the look of the doll itself?
Yeah, okay, so it doesn't look like a doll that you would buy for the family or the kids. It
definitely
looks like a
creepy.
creepy
I think
doll.
it definitely
Yeah.
does look like a fucking robot, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
definitely. You
know,
can
it
definitely
It looks
look
like
at
there's
it.
is a robot,
there's
yeah.
technology in its head that is used for Wi-Fi and
It's just
such.
it doesn't look cute. It looks like it's gonna be.
It
evil
looks
at
like
some
it would
point.
fucking kill you in your sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Like I
I
guess
would not buy that for my children.
I
I
guess
would not buy that
a
for
healthy
me.
portion of actual
would.
dolls do look like that.
I would.
But
no, I wouldn't.
I don't know,
Shit
but
my
like
pants.
that was the like big juxtaposition with the original franchise, was that it just looked like a cute little fucking doll.
It
and
looked
now
like
it's
a doll you
bleeding
buy for your
and killing
kid.
Yeah.
people and calling everyone a bitch.
Well, not that.
doll. Here you
Yeah.
go.
Well, okay, yeah, after that.
I honestly thought that, in my
Cute
opinion,
doll.
from what I have seen of the original Chucky movies, like I've seen chunks and pieces here and there, but what I have seen, I honestly think the older versions are scarier.
Because it's cuter.
I honestly think they're much scarier, and
like, it
I
had-
can't really pinpoint why.
The original dolls, it used the fact that it was a serial killer soul inside this doll to its advantage, because
A very
Yeah.
innocent, good guy. Good guy.
well, also the fact that like a big plot point is like the more time he spends in the body, the more human he becomes. You can kind of subtly see that within the face of the doll. His
him
features start to come out, even just within the first movie. Like over time, you eventually see more of Brad Dourif's face in this doll.
Yeah.
I think Bride was where it started to get more horrifying because of how
Which I
3 ended,
loved,
and
the
then
evolution.
how they did it at the beginning of Bride. I'm like, oh, this is really terrifying. That's what always drew me into that.
Like I
one.
will
That's ironic
say,
because that's when the movie started to go more comedic.
Yeah.
like I will say that again, I like this new movie. I like the new direction. I like the new light that it sheds on the story. But the thing that I really do miss about the loss of the supernatural element is that now we're never going to get a cut up bleeding Chucky doll. It's just going to be a robot. It's just going to be internal components. We get that for the camera. You guys know what it looks like. We're never going to see that if we
hope you
get
won't, dude.
potential sequels.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
terms of just the pure horror, This film's tone was just all over the place, but nothing in this even came close to that scene in the first one where Sid picks up Woody and his head's... where Andy's mom picks up Chucky. And the batteries... She pulls out the
hate
back,
that.
and there's no batteries, and that's the moment where she
That
goes,
was horrifying.
oh, fuck, and then his
Yeah,
head
and
just
it just spins
spins.
around.
The
Yeah.
whole 180.
And then she drops him, and he, like, lunges under the couch, and it's fucking hilarious.
'Cause-
But that is...
Who puts their head underneath?
terrifying.
Okay, speaking of that, who puts their head underneath a fucking couch to check the doll? Like, she picks it up and, like, peeks her head
I'd be
underneath
out
there.
fucking
What
dumb
the
bitch.
fuck? I'd get my kid and I'd run.
Well, the kid wasn't in the house.
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
We're done here. We're moving.
That's how you get a knife in the eye. Do you want a knife in the eye?
We're gonna burn down the whole apartment building and we're done.
That scene is fucking... Like, that is terrifying. And in this one, having him move from the start, having it... There was just never a moment where I was like, oh, okay. So that's what he can do.
Oh shit.
He's alive and he's fucking coming.
I will say, though, in terms of
what
the
she
look of the
said.
doll, the animatronics were great.
They were
for
good
the most
animatronics.
part.
The eyes bother me.
But just like when you
Oh, yeah,
see
yeah.
in
I
the
think that was
shots
the
that when you see in the shots that it's an actual animatronic that's walking around,
Right.
it's just really admirable to see that it wasn't like with a few very clear exceptions that it wasn't CGI.
Right, that was
like
cool.
it was just an actual doll that was well, not actual doll but that is moving, but like an animatronic. Just to see that they actually had one on set and it was working, it made his presence feel all the better.
Can we talk about that for a sec? One of the exciting things when this movie was announced was that they were using practical effects. And when you get to the one CG effect in the entire movie,
It looks like
It
dog
looked like
shit.
Yeah.
It was
horse
beautiful.
shit.
It takes you
It was
out of the
amazing,
moment,
but it
yeah.
was horrible.
It was a funny... I laughed harder in that than I laughed in the entirety of
They should have
Men in
made it
Black
quicker.
International.
I don't know how. I don't know.
There-
It's
there
just
was
just not had
bad.
it. He
There
should
was-
have
they
just
should-
been dead.
There were practical ways of achieving that same shot.
Just
The
yeet
killer
the
always comes
motherfucking
back
doll.
for one final
just throw
scare.
the fucking doll, yeah.
Yeah.
Horror movie rules state the killer always comes back for one final scare. So
Always.
Yeah, but you don't have to follow the rules. You can be your own thing. You follow the rules too much and you become a cliche. You become what you sought
do you
to
know
the
how
story.
campy the Chucky movies are?
They are.
do you?
But if you're
They
going
eventually
to,
became self-aware.
if you're going to
yeah.
try and do something different, then do
Much
something
like the new
different.
Chucky.
There are dolls
Again.
fucking in the background, and you're about to tell me that this shit isn't fucking camp?
No, but that's my
I said it once and I'll say it again.
I don't
Oh my god.
I
my
don't
God.
care about the camp. It just the fact that he came back to life to begin with, I was like, oh, okay. The scene in the original when he comes back to life and they fucking shoot him is fucking amazing. Because they shoot him and just this doll fucking explodes with blood. It's the greatest thing ever put to cinema. And in this one, it was just
I will
I laughed.
just to add on to
Totally.
that scene in the original, like where he's burned in the fireplace, but then he comes back and he trips Andy, and you see the full shot of him, and he's like slowly coming towards him with the knife. That literally, that still gets under my skin
I
to this
love
day. Like that's
seeing
horrifying.
him walk in the originals. Oh my god. I don't know what it was about it was so creepy watching Chucky move.
Like that I feel like it was an intentional downgrade with the animatronics in this one. We've got Bride of Chucky on in the background, and just looking at this doll sex scene, like the animatronics are much more complicated because these are like again supernatural dolls. They're fleshy. They're supposed to look like they have full range of emotion, and also they're supposed to impersonate actual human movements as much as possible. Whereas in this new one, we already know it's just a robot.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that complicated. So it does, like most of the time when we see Chucky, he's never really walking. Like we rarely see his legs at all, I believe. He's
There was
always
one shot where you see him holding Andy's hand, like when he first gets him,
Right,
yeah.
and
yeah,
they're
And they're
walking in the
walking.
house.
Yeah, but like every other time we see them walking around, you never see his legs. Or when you do see Chucky in the scene, he's always just already standing in a place or sitting in a place.
That budget would have been stupid.
Yeah, yeah. But also
He
like,
was like a Muppet.
we know that he's a robot. They wouldn't
Muppets
have
did
wanted
that.
to attempt making the motions look realistic. It would just look like a cheap doll going. you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it was an intentional downgrade in the animatronics, and there's an in-story reason for it. It just kind of takes away from some of that, you know, those fantastic moments that we saw in the originals.
So we really don't have to compare old with the new because we've already kind of been doing that as we go along, which I love. So we want to get on to the controversy of this movie.
Yes.
Okay, can I bring up one more thing that bothered me?
Okay.
If you
Didn't
must.
believe, like, a lot of it just felt very unbelievable to me. In terms of, like, to compare, I was waiting to compare the old and the new. In the old one, you have 6-year-old little Andy with his good guy doll that's fucking almost twice his height.
Oh,
And he goes into the police station. He's, my doll is fucking killing people. And they go, no, he's not. You're a fucking idiot. Like,
You good, bruh?
in this one, having 14-year-old Andy, nobody will ever believe that my malfunctioning doll is killing people. I mean, we have
I'd believe
video
a 14-year-old
footage.
if you came up to me and were just
Yeah.
like, hey, so
my
there's
robot
this thing.
that is clearly malfunctioning. Like, everybody is aware that it's not quite normal. Is killing people.
I did want to make this point, and I'm really glad that you actually brought it up.
And we have video footage of it. He has a fucking camera.
That he plays in the store at one point.
You could fucking put it on your phone and be like, look, Mom,
They do
it's
that at one
killing
point.
people.
They do that at one point when the kids go to the other kid and they're like, hey, give us your phone. And they rewind and they're like, oh yeah, there he is, literally murdering the old lady. They
could-
have the footage available to them. Mm-hmm. The fact that they don't, there's just some of it that was like, you're all
kind of a
fucking
plot
idiots.
hole?
You
I think that
deserve
counts
to
as a
die.
Showed
plot
the
hole.
cop when it came to the face on the watermelon, like, look, this is where he was, obviously.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
woke up and found this. Please help.
at the crime scene.
Call somebody.
Yeah, just drop
You're
him off at the
somebody,
police
right?
station. Plug this shit in. Look at this stuff. I'm out of here.
At the crime scene, one of the detectives mentions that, like, the fingerprints are almost that of a toddler. Like, they're way too small to be a human.
And also,
You know who
why would
has
you
those
give
size
the doll
fingerprints?
fingerprints to begin with?
A doll.
I think they said footprints, but
Still,
yeah.
either
Yeah,
way,
footprints.
all of it, you're like,
Yeah,
if
they did say footprints.
All of this builds to a point where, anyone would
They did the
believe
same
that.
thing in the original,
Yeah,
whatever.
like-
He's walking in the flower. You remember that?
Yeah, and he looks at like Andy's wearing the same design shoes.
I'm in my good guy sleep shoes or something weird like that, and I'm like,
Yeah, the-
what?
Show the doll's feet.
Yeah, like they're comparing
Pretty
the
obvious.
feet, and you're just like, ooh, look at that.
And yeah, they're the exact same.
And they're
And
also
Chuck-
the same size, so it's believable.
Yeah, and then I remember him looking at Chucky and be like, Chucky, why'd you ask to borrow my shoes? And it was like a whole thing. I will put in there that Andy Barkley.
Oh, he's the most
Sweet
adorable kid to ever be
Lord.
put on
The
That is
film.
the
original, yeah.
Wasn't a
yeah,
great
that's
actor
the
back then, but
cutest
very-
kid.
Jonathan
Very cute.
Licknipple has nothing on him in terms of cuteness.
Macaulay Culkin could rival from the first
You leave the
Home
little
Alone movie.
vampire out of your whore mouth, okay?
It's fucking George from
Wow.
Stuart. He ought to die little.
But
That
yeah,
kid who played Anakin has got them all beat. This is pod racing.
no. Andy,
he is
the
sick
original
now.
Andy,
Yeah.
was the cutest kid. And he was so sweet and soft-spoken. And I think that's also what made it more horrifying, is that he's so little.
The scene I will never forget is when he got put in the mental hospital or whatever, just the hospital, and he looks out the window and he sees Chucky climbing up the stairs to come get him, and he just breaks down crying
Oh,
in
it
the room.
always
And
breaks
it's-
my heart. But I don't feel bad for that fucking 14-year-old.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
not as much.
Yeah.
Shit.
He's just like
I don't.
he lacks
How
critical
dare you
thinking
be over-
skills.
On top of that, the 80s
dare
were
you
fucking
grow up.
raw. When you watch the original Child's Play, that that 6-year-old's in danger. That 6-year-old's he could fucking die. He could bite it. This is the 80s. Anything goes.
Anything can happen. It's the fucking 80s.
Watching this one, I'm like, they're not
So
gonna.
cocaine.
Even a 14-year-old, they're not killing a kid.
Yeah, not enough
Like-
kids died, yeah.
PC culture.
The same thing with like Brightburn. You just watch it, and I'm like, they're not gonna kill a kid.
Yeah.
The last time I saw a child die was Clown, which all the better for, because I remember that film. That film stands out in my mind, and I go, oh,
Well, I mean, you haven't seen Hereditary yet.
touche. Spoilers, but
You don't know which one, though.
this film, just the entire time I felt no
Pet
tension
Cemetery, They Kill a Kid,
for Andy, because I was just like,
Multiple.
too. Yeah.
I was just like, oh, okay, he's gonna live. There's no way he doesn't. And there's no way any of his friends die as well. Like, it just felt too
predictable.
safe. Like from the beginning, I watched it when none of the kids die. Aubrey Plaza doesn't die.
I think they would have made that movie if Andy would have fucking died at the end. Could you
Well,
imagine?
they gotta keep it open
It
for
would've been so
sequels.
different.
So
if any of the kids died, I'd have been
I
like,
really hope
okay,
not.
You were already
all bets
going
are
with
off.
completely different.
They let Aubrey
While
Plaza-
you're already on the train track of
They
going
let-
completely differently. Just kill Andy. Just kill him
But
off.
they already changed with the mom
Yeah,
not dying, so
Even if
well,
that she didn't die.
she didn't die in the original.
Oh,
She just didn't come
No.
back for the
maybe it's
sequels.
one of those.
No, she went into the psych ward for the
Mandela
second one.
effects. That's what it was. I always thought she died.
Even though the fucking cops didn't go, the mother went.
it's Scream.
Right, she's a
You
woman.
kill Drew Barrymore in the first 10 minutes. All bets are off. Anyone could die.
Right.
You kill a kid in the first 10 minutes of Child's
we
Play
just-
2019. All right.
Can we just take
Any
a
of the kids
moment
gone.
for Drew Barrymore?
In that film
In
or just in
Scream?
general? Just
Yes.
Drew Barrymore.
We're not worthy.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
Anywho,
No.
I don't want to do that now.
It's already
That's kinda
begun.
Did anybody have anything else to add before we keep moving on? Because we've already hit an hour.
I loved the gore in this film.
Yes.
The kills were fantastic.
I did,
Yes.
I did like the gore.
Shane's death, the fucking scariest scene in the movie for me was when he killed the janitor dude. Like that whole scene was fantastic.
Yes.
So suspenseful, but like when he's holding on to the pipes that are constantly increasing in heat, and you just like.
You almost feel like you can feel it.
Yeah, you feel it, and I was
almost felt like I was in
I
a
was almost kind of
fucking-
starting to cringe, and I don't
Yeah.
usually do that with horror. I can
When you're
usually
just
take a
waiting
lot.
for him to fall.
When
The
it
shot
just
of the leg hitting the floor.
oh yeah,
That was awesome. That was
and just the ideas of them all, like Shane getting run over, like his face getting run over with the push thing. I don't know
Vulture?
lawn equipment.
think
Yes,
we-
that.
I don't know lawn
As he crawled
equipment.
into a more open
I don't know
area
how to
so he
mow.
could be killed more easily.
Oh man, I could just
Dustin
like
does.
pull this off,
He's a
but
dad.
no, not gonna do
I
that.
could have crawled towards the house and banged on a window, but no, my phone. Subtext.
No.
Okay.
One last thing: cinematography and editing was hit and miss.
It was very hit and miss.
Okay.
Anyways, controversy about this movie. There has been a lot of beef. Nick, I know you're ready.
I have yes. So, just to make sure we're on the same page here, the controversy is that Don Mancini, Jennifer Tilly, Alex Vincent, who played Andy, they have all got, particularly Don Mancini, because he's created this series and he's kept it going for over 30 years. They have gone on record stating they do not in any way support this film, and Don Mancini has said that he really considers it kind of insulting to him personally, seeing how this is the Child's Play series is his baby, and that he's kept it going for 30 years, and now they're just taking it and remaking it without him. First of all, I will preface this by saying I understand where he's coming from. This is his baby. He has written every single one of them since the beginning. He
Directed a couple.
He's directed like the past 3 or 4, I think.
I'm pretty sure.
I know he
pretty
directed
sure he did.
Seed.
Somebody's gonna fact check me. I already know this.
I know he's made Colton Curse. So I completely understand where he's coming from. That he doesn't want his series to be remade, especially when he's keeping it going.
He's currently fucking working on
Yeah,
it.
he's currently
There's a
still
TV
keeping
show.
it going with a TV
It's not
show.
like Friday the 13th where they're kind of done.
Yeah.
They've gone
They're
back
done.
and changed so much. Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, all of them have ludicrous continuities. They have these every other film retcons that, all right, he didn't die last time. This happened, or these characters, we never saw this. Halloween has like 18 different storylines, like 18 different continuities. If you watch each film, Child's Play has continually gone, cool. No matter what happened in the last one, it happened. Like, we're not just going to ignore it. We're not going to forget about it, with the exception of...
They still gave them a shout out though. Given it was kind of like, backhanded compliment because they put it close to the end of the credits, but they did give a special shout out to Mancini and Tom Holland and the other guy. But like I said, backhanded because it's like
Not Spider-Man Tom Holland.
Not that one.
Original
Same
director,
with, like, he was-
director of the Langoliers, yeah.
No, they're the same thing. It's fine.
Anyway,
Tell people that. Tell all your friends.
so
Spider-Man directed the Langoliers?
anyway, so I totally understand where he's coming from this, but from the minute this movie was announced, this remake, it seemed like every person on God's green earth, us notwithstanding, because I don't know most of your guys' opinions from when it was first announced, but it seemed like everybody was against this movie from the start. Everybody was claiming, they were treating Child's Play as if it were like the
Bible?
The Bible, yeah, essentially. Like, Child's Play is like the end-all be-all of every horror. That's totally okay if people think that and they love it that much, but like, to say like, oh, you cannot remake Child's Play. It is absolutely sacrilegious to remake this. It is an unpardonable sin to do so.
Every single movie.
Yes, and I was open to it from the very beginning because I thought, hey, why not? Like, if they are going to go in a completely different direction with this, I'm open to it. I'm interested to see what they can do because honestly, I think there's a lot you could do with it. So I was with this from the very beginning, and personally, I'm very much so of the opinion that I just don't give a shit. Plain and simple, I just don't give a shit. If Don Mancini
like
and
you sold the rights,
all
your
of the
blessing doesn't matter.
Well, I think
it wasn't him
it was
himself
no, it
that
was
did that.
the film studio that made the first Child's Play. I think it was Orion or United Artists that held the rights to the first Child's Play movie. They just took that and remade it. Don Mancini had nothing to do with, like, he didn't sell the rights or anything. Mm-hmm. He was offered an executive producer credit, but he turned it down. This is just me, but I'm very much of the opinion, like, cool, you're continuing the series how you want it to be. You're making these movies, you're making this TV series. If you have your own thing going on, then pardon me for being interested to see what somebody else can do with the series and what they can do. Like, if they're going to take it in a different direction. If somebody was just going to take the original film and remake it, like, shot for shot, same plot lines, keep it, like, serial killer putting into the voodoo doll, then I would be more so, like, yeah, like, what's the point of that? Just especially if they're having the same continuity going on, like, why just do the exact same thing? But because it's a modern update, and because they did change so many of the things around, I was all for this remake, and I just really thought, like, you can have the original main series going. If you're so against this remake, don't go see it. Don't even act like it even exists. The original series is still going. They're still pumping out creative content. Stick with that. You still have that at your advantage, at your disposal. You don't need to automatically have to go to this because it's the only thing you have left of Child's Play. You don't. So that's just been my opinion on this whole thing.
So I think you're dead ass fucking wrong, is what I'm about to fucking tell you. I
Bring it
just
on,
think
Dad.
there is some kind of handshaky, this is Hollywood. There are fucking rules to this, man. Rules to being not a fucking dick to somebody else's fucking creative goddamn property. And there should be some kind of okay. You know what I mean? So Rob Zombie, as a case in point, I'd give Rob Zombie anything at this point to do anything with. But that movie was so... Shut the fuck up.
I didn't say anything.
That movie was so long ago. They weren't really touching Halloween, blah, 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 blah. But fucking Curse or Cult, whichever one of those...
Curse came first, then Cult.
Yeah, okay, so that had just fucking come out. That was 2015?
17, I think.
Really?
Is
it that
very
soon?
recent.
It was really recent.
Real recent.
Somebody's gonna have to fact check me on that one.
I'll look that up right now.
But they're still playing with it. It is not the same fucking thing. It is not like Halloween, where it's not really being dabbled with, until recently. You're touching somebody else's child. You think I'm gonna go up to your child and shake it? No.
I would.
You would.
I mean, if you have
They
visitation-
took so much care over this. And also,
don't
Jennifer
think
Tilly
it's-
says no, then you shouldn't do it.
I don't think it's as much shaking a child as
Agreed.
much as... Okay, yeah. Perhaps it's shitty
I only
that
do
they
the car.
in no way really wanted to involve Don Mancini in this, aside from just getting his blessing to do it. But honestly, with the way it turned out, just the fact that they tried... You could tell with this movie they really... Why did you just draw a dick on this piece of paper? You were really distracting me from my thoughts. You bitch. The fact that they did try... You can tell with this movie that they really tried to make it something different. And and to not interfere with Don Mancini's continuity of what he had already established, and to just try to do their own thing, which, call me crazy, but I admire them for that. I admire that they did want to go in such a different direction, and I think that the fact that they did, I don't think it harms the ongoing series in any way. I think I don't know if they're going to make a sequel to this. I don't know how well I don't know how well it's doing money-wise, and that's always the big deciding factor. So I don't know if they are going to continue this.
Legally, they can't go off of the second one for that one.
They have to go only off of what they have just made
their
here.
own thing.
So I think even if this does go on with its own string of sequels, I don't think that's going to harm the original in any way. I think people can always... I think they can totally coexist. I think they can just have these here. I think of this how... I'm going a little bit more nerdy here, but how the MCU and the X-Men universe were existing for the longest time. Like, you have all of these interconnected Marvel movies, and then you have just the X-Men series. Like, yeah, they're all Marvel, so they all
So you're saying that two different Deadpools was a good idea?
There never were two different
That's the
Deadpools.
exception.
Dropping that on the table?
No, absolutely not.
Quicksilvers.
Fuck X-Men Origins Wolverine.
But even then, Marvel had the smart idea to kill their crappy Quicksilver. This movie didn't kill their... they killed their crappy Chucky, but you know if there's another one,
Well, obviously
there will be another crappy Chucky.
Well, they already established that there is going to be another Chucky in the ending shot of the movie. Maybe that was a bad analogy, but all I'm saying is, like, I definitely think the two could coexist, and that it's not harming the other in any way.
I'm right, you're wrong. Let's move on.
Okay.
To compare it to Halloween,
Anybody else have any opinions on that?
to compare it to Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, its biggest blessing and its curse.
You just opened up an entire new box
If
of
Child's
shit.
Play weren't Child's Play 2019 weren't called Child's Play, it never would have been made.
No,
No?
I don't think so.
We clapped.
We clapped. We have to keep moving on.
Okay.
But do you have a quick thought?
If
There's
it
never
had
a
not
quick
been a
thought,
Child's
Joel.
Play film, it wouldn't have existed. But as a Child's Play film, it should not have been a Child's Play film. But had it not been a Child's Play film, it wouldn't have existed.
And no money would have been made. You wouldn't have got the cute little marketing with Toy Story people.
That was cool at first.
It was cool at
Then
first,
they
and then it
ran
got
it into
excessive.
they ran it into the ground.
The Woody one was really funny the first time I saw it. And then I got, it did kind of become, okay, so do it with other things, like choke out Annabelle or some shit.
Which they eventually did.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
they
was
did do
great.
that. And then,
Fuck that movie, by the way.
Its biggest blessing and its biggest curse is its name.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else have anything small to add to controversy?
I agree with Nick. That's it.
That's fine that you're allowed
I
to be
agree with
wrong.
you.
Thank you.
I'm
No,
very
I
My
mean,
brother.
No, I mean, like seriously.
No, I do see certain points that you have. I get it.
Yeah, like my
That's not
my
mine.
general opinion with any remake, reboot, reimagining, what have you, that older stuff is still there for you to love and appreciate. Like, it doesn't detract from that.
But the thing is that this is still going on.
And it's still
He's not
will.
gonna.
And it still will.
It
Yeah,
does
exactly.
create brand
It's
confusion.
nobody's
You know what this
taking
does?
nobody's taking that away.
It creates marketing. It creates a discussion in there, and then people go, "Hey, the older ones are still
You want to see
going
the
too."
actual Chucky? Here, watch this.
What about
Sure,
Evil
yeah.
And to the
Dead
point of brand
versus
confusion, I say fuck
Ash
that.
versus
Just
Evil
look on the
Dead?
internet. Like, it's not
Like the
there.
remake? Or
internet.
You know,
sequel,
Bruce
whatever.
Campbell could do whatever the fuck
I
he
know,
wants
I'm
to.
just
You leave
saying,
Bruce
though.
Campbell out of
And
this.
just as an example, though, they were both kind of around the same time.
Yeah.
Just as a quick example. Look,
No,
stop,
I agree with
stop
Nick.
yelling.
Yeah, that's my quick thought.
And it was the same situation that
Right.
somebody else owned the original Evil Dead, but that is another podcast, Dustin.
Ooh, I can't wait for that one.
Anyways, who wants to play trivia?
Me.
Me.
Oh,
I'm
we're all
probably
gonna
gonna
fail,
fail,
though,
but
yeah.
me.
I'm so excited.
Yo,
To see us fail.
yo, soy.
Okay, so this is about the original. So in the OG, Chucky's full name is Charles Lee Ray. What three famous people is this name derived from?
Charles
Manson, Lee Harvey Oswald,
Ray
Charles.
Ray, Ray Romano.
Yes.
How
got
should
it
he get right?
Good bet.
Ray
Yeah.
Mysterio?
I
Okay.
got Charles Manson
What was
right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yay.
So, Nick,
Yes.
what full answer again?
Charles Manson, Lee Harvey Oswald, Ray Romano.
Who else wants to challenge him?
I'm gonna leave it at Ray
I'm going for Ray
Romano.
Romano.
So, James Earl Ray was the assassin for Martin Luther King.
That's it.
Oh wow!
Yep.
All right.
Not many people know that.
Yeah, not a lot of people know that. That is definitely a weird little trivia question.
Wonder why not a lot of people know that.
So
Guess it's not Ray Romano.
Okay, so this is about the original. Child's Play was not the original choice of the name for the movie. There were two before it. Can you guess one of them?
Oh, I read this a long time
Toy
ago.
Story.
Yes.
And I suck at
Put your
this.
toys away.
World's Cutest Kid, the film.
Yes.
Doll.
Dollhouse?
Boy.
Doll boy.
Killer thing.
It's gonna be one doll boy from
Small
me.
Soldiers. 2.
So I think we're all folding on
We're all
that.
stumped,
yeah.
Wow.
Batteries not included.
That was it.
And then it was changed to Blood Buddy.
Right.
And then it said it on Child's Play.
Okay.
I've heard
Didn't
that
they-
batteries not included.
Batteries not included. That was the name of another film.
That's
that
a.
eventually
I think it's
came out.
Robert Zemeckis.
Toy Story.
It was either Zemeckis or Spielberg.
So I have another one for the original.
Okay.
Which studio owned the original Child's Play, and why did it sell the rights?
United Artists.
Or Orion.
Because they sold it because there was a controversy about the original film, I think, where like a lot of angry people lined up outside of the studio and were picketing the film because of its subject matter, and they didn't want to deal with that, so they sold the rights to Universal for the sequels.
It's like you're reading right off of her paper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
I just read a lot of trivia on IMDb.
So yeah, MGM / yeah.
MGM,
Yeah. Okay.
Neat.
So
Cool.
Charles Lee Ray's partner, Eddie Caputo, only has 2 lines in the original film that you can hear in the very beginning of the movie, and they're the same lines. What are they?
Is this a new one?
No, this is from the original. Sorry, I probably should have stated that.
Shit. I suck.
Oh shit, I'm dead.
Help.
Okay, so shorten it a little bit.
I'm
Oh,
dead.
shit.
Oh shit! He said it twice, and that was it.
All anyone needs.
Oh my god, I just took a shot in the dark.
Yeah. See, look what you did today. So
I
this
feel
is for the new movie. Mark Hamill has been Chucky once before. What TV show was it for?
Robot Chicken.
Fuck yeah, it was.
What the fuck? Why do you know everything?
Because I have too much free
Give
time
other
that I just
people
Okay.
Robot
chance.
Chicken,
I
but you're
give like a good
jumpy.
2 seconds.
This is about the new one. At one point in time, the toy police car is activated and states, "Dead or alive, you are coming with me."
RoboCop.
What?
RoboCop.
Damn it!
See, there you go, other people.
Dead or alive,
Peter Weller, RoboCop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Alrighty.
Featuring Red Foreman.
What is this new movie's body count?
4?
Less than 10.
Shane, janitor dude, old black lady.
Wasn't there a couple people that died at the very well? there's
Or,
a
the
couple.
guy who commits suicide at the beginning.
I'm gonna say 7.
See, I'm not sure because of the drones.
I'm gonna say a guy in the
Yeah.
story who gets his throat slit.
8.
8.
Okay, cool.
So this includes what?
Shuddy.
This includes Chucky's death and
Shuddy.
also the cat.
Do we
The
count
cat's in
Chucky
that.
because he's
Okay.
a robot? He was never alive.
He's a body.
It's
You're a
still
body.
He's still
I
a
am.
titled
It is
character
so real
getting
to me.
killed. It's still a titled character getting killed. Okay. You fucking asshole.
I know what I am.
So the really cool kill in the movie that involves Shane, the number and letter combo on the robotiller, means something. What is it?
Release of the original movie.
Close.
Release of
Do you remember what it was? What it said on there?
89,
69?
88.
Okay. So what was the other part of that?
19.
It's really fucking easy. We've been
12.
saying it 35 million times today.
35,
Yes.
Million.
No.
12,
The
11,
release year?
10.
No.
9,
So there are
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
1.
1.
if you don't shut the fuck up.
He egged me on.
So
He started
it's
it.
2 letters, 2 numbers.
CP88.
Yep.
Okay.
Alec got it. See, like I said, it was easy.
I suck
Weird.
at this.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's a bad
Okay, so this is the last one for our. This was the last one for our trivia game.
Okay.
The first Chucky kill in the original paid tribute to what death in the new one? The first Chucky kill paid tribute to in what death?
The first Chucky kill, like as the doll or as Charles Lee Ray?
That's the doll.
When he sends the babysitter out the window and she falls on the car.
And so, what is mimicked in this movie that resembles that?
Suicide.
Guy commits suicide.
The suicide. Yep. The car. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. Okay.
What are
That
the
is-
points?
the one.
I'm so good at that.
I would
Where's the
assume
fucking
Nick.
neck one?
Yeah.
We
All right.
are the champions.
So, does anybody have any final little
Get
thoughts?
flagged if you sing that.
Come at me, Brian May.
Is that your final thought on the
Is
movie?
that your final thought?
Right
No.
now.
Anybody else have any closing thoughts?
I probably won't buy it, but if it's on Netflix or whatever down the road, I'll give it another watch.
If it
I will
gets a-
definitely buy this.
If it
I
gets
think I'm gonna buy it to add it to my collection,
I
and
am
that's kind of good.
poor,
with what it
so
is.
I probably won't buy it.
If it gets a cool
that's the
looking
only reason.
steelbook, I'll pick it up day one to go with the rest of my collection.
If the steelbook cover is like the first image that they released of the film, where it's just the half of Chucky's face with the other half being covered with the knife, I would definitely pick that up.
Okay.
If not, Black Friday.
So, what is our Screaming Peach rating from everybody?
Out of
this
10?
is 1 out of 10.
Mr. McQuaid.
That's
For what it was, I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Okay. Katie?
I'm gonna go with a 7.
Okay. I'm gonna go with a 6.
I guess that's me. I'm going with a 4.
Okay.
I didn't love it, didn't hate it.
I
It's bad, but I had
am.
fun.
Not great, not terrible.
It's
I'm
bad, but I
going
had
with 6.5 purely on an entertainment value. Aside from the one scene with the janitor, I was never really scared throughout the film, but I was never bored throughout it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean-
6.5.
Yeah.
As I said in the beginning, it's a solid 7 out of 10 Screaming Peaches for me. It takes an existing property, shows it in a new light in a relevant way, and it really worked, I thought.
Well, I loved this, and I love that we did this, and I love this is our first podcast ever, so if it sounds a little bit rough, I'm sorry.
They can fuck
Thank
Sorry
you.
for all the
For
Mountain Dew
Peaches
that
and
I'm
Scream
drinking.
Entertainment.
Yes.
Yes. So, thank you, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.